Hello, Sanford. You are listening to the Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and welcome to the Howler as your Sanford College Coyotes are going to face the Ohio Bobcats this weekend in another tough MAC conference matchup. But let's talk about some recruiting first and foremost. It's a two-man race for guard Samuel Wyatt. Arkansas and Sanford battling that one out. Some news has come in on Tyrone Justice. He's taking a more thorough look at Sanford, and it seems like he's liking what he sees, which is a great plus there. Chad Collins, Armand Hammer, as well as Wesley Wolf are expected to commit here soon. There have been a lot of good words coming from them. But now let's talk about some bigger names that we haven't gotten to talk about. Carlos Hunter and wide receiver Adam Gillette. Hunter only has one scholarship offer from Sanford, but Adam Gillette is not getting looks from other schools around the nation, and it's because Gillette is looked at in his high school as a number 2 and 3 receiver. He doesn't work a lot at the number 1 spot. I think that's taking people's eyes off of him, but he's a very talented possession guy, and if Sanford could pick him up, just think about how deadly that receiving corps gets with 3 solid guys in the lineup. You lose Tremaine Dingle this year, you gain Adam Gillette. John Foster, Kevin Collier, and Mike Carrington are some other names to watch, 2 guards as well as a middle linebacker. Now let's talk about the biggest thing this week, and that was recruits committing. Steve Little, linebacker out of Edmonton, committed to Ohio. But on Sanford's side of things, Dylan Crosby committed here to Sanford, and that is a huge pickup. They now can add some more depth to that defensive tackle spot. They don't have to worry about Joe Irvin if he decides to leave early for the draft this year or wait to leave next year after his senior year. They have some depth there. Arguably one of the biggest prospects this season, Nick Brown commits here to Sanford, and this is huge because we all know Deron Costello will be graduating at the end of the season. Nick Brown could step right in and take over that starting spot. I would not at all be surprised if he impresses coaches during the offseason and gets that number 1 tight end spot. Now the quarterback room got a little bit bigger this week as Grant Fink, the quarterback out of Calgary, he committed here to Sanford, which adds another quarterback to what's becoming a huge room. We know that Sanford has Tanner Patrick, and I don't assume that he would leave for the draft just yet. They've already gotten John Scott to commit here to Sanford for next season, and Tyrese Baker, the 3rd quarterback on the depth chart. Anderson, of course, will be graduating at the end of the season. So it is a very talented quarterbacks room, and Grant just adds more depth to that spot. Now another defensive tackle who committed was Kewadwo Akampong. Now this young man is more of a depth guy right now, but I could see late in his career being a very, very talented run stopper. Do not be surprised if Kewadwo sees a redshirt his first year, but his second and third see some major playing time in the rotation. Now, here's the most interesting prospect to commit here to Sanford, I think, all season. Jared Wright. He's an athlete out of Alabama, and the team doesn't really know where to put him just yet. They're not sure exactly where he fits. Some people believe he may actually fit more for an offensive lineman than anything. They're just not sure, and they have to bring him in during the offseason to really find a spot that fits him. So it's going to be very interesting to see where Wright plays here in Sanford. And finally, the last prospect who committed this week was Ben Cantrell, the outside linebacker out of Tampa, Florida. A lot of linebackers have been coming in this year, and that is just going to be a position now with a ton of depth. Cantrell is not the fastest guy, but he can get to his top speed quick. So he may not be the fastest guy on the field, but he may be a lot quicker on his first step than a lot of other guys, and that gives him a big advantage over some other players on the offensive side of the field. Now, players of the week this week for the MAC, you have Dominique Hill, the defensive tackle for Kent State, and Noah Wyszynski, the quarterback for Miami of Ohio, both with big games for their respective teams. But when we talk about the MAC, there's only one thing to talk about, and that's Sanford College football. They stand on top of the MAC, 3-0 in conference. Everyone else is 2-1 or worse. The Northern Illinois Huskies are number 2, Bowling Green number 3, Central Michigan number 4, and Toledo, number 5. So really, from what it looks here right now, Sanford is looking at one thing this week. If they beat Ohio, I'd say at that point it's who are they facing in the MAC conference game? Who takes the West? That's the only question I think that's on the table if this Sanford team beats Ohio. Because I don't see a threat at all from any other East team to take that chance away from Sanford. So we'll see how this week goes, and we might just be talking about the conference championship game very early. Now the top 25 polls. We know now that Sanford has moved up from 25 to 22. But there are a number of teams that I personally think could fall in the polls and give Sanford a chance to even buy time for a bowl game to be up in the top 10. I know some of you may be listening to the show and thinking I'm crazy for thinking that. But you've got teams such as Minnesota, who lost to Michigan last week. You got teams like Penn State, who has been looking solid, but you don't know if they're going to fall off at some point. Wisconsin hasn't had their best season. Oklahoma State hasn't been playing that great. We know how Auburn is. They could play good one week, bad the next. Sanford has a good chance to climb extremely quickly with the way some of these teams have played this year. So don't be surprised if Sanford goes from 22 all the way to 16 extremely fast. Now let's head to what games are being played here in the MAC this week. It's Sanford, of course, at Ohio. We'll be covering that one. Toledo at Central Michigan. Buffalo at Akron. Bowling Green at Eastern Michigan. Miami of Ohio at Kent State. Northern Illinois at Ball State. The most interesting one, other than, of course, Sanford and at Ohio, I'd say, is Toledo at Central Michigan. That is a big Western part of the MAC game. I think one of those two teams could take the West if they could come out with a W there. Now let's talk about Sanford's game. Kirk Herbstreit, the smart man he is taking the Coyotes to beat the Bobcats, and I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. The Bobcats are also facing a couple of possible injuries, the biggest one being Marcus Brunson. We'll talk more about him a little later. He's questionable right now for the game, so it's possible he could play. But if he's not there, that is a huge loss for the Bobcats and can mean a lot for Sanford. Not to mention, last time these two teams played, Brunson was a huge weapon against Sanford. Sanford did not play well against the Bobcats in their last meeting. Just like the last time they faced Ball State, they didn't play well. It's a very similar situation here. They've got to play good against teams they didn't play well against. They didn't play well against last year. And the reason I bring up Ball State is next week they face Ball State. So two teams that they did not play well against last year, they have to face back to back. It's vengeance for Sanford next 2 weeks, I should say. But of course, the man to watch, and we'll talk even more about him here in just a second, is Quentin Maxwell, the quarterback of Ohio. He is a deadly threat, whether the ball's in his hands or he's using those legs. And we'll talk even more about that here in just a bit. As well as this defense for Sanford. We all know the leaders right now in Dustin Jordan and Irving with interceptions and sacks respectively, but Otis Griffin has been a monster middle linebacker as of late. If he can keep that going, there's a good chance they can hold down the fort against this Bobcats offense. But let's talk about Quentin Maxwell a little bit more here. He's had a very good season. He's 9-3 touchdown to interception ratio. He has not tried to really, throw the football more than he's needed to. And his completion percentage may be lower than 50%. But for a guy like this that runs the ball as well as he can, that's not a big issue. He can get a big chunk of yards when his offense isn't working on his own with those legs of his. We saw it last year, and I'm sure we'll see more of it this year. And the man to watch, though, when Maxwell does throw the football is Elijah Ball, the wide receiver for the Bobcats. He is a big threat, not having the best season right now. It's been solid for him. He's got 3 touchdowns so far on the season, and he's averaging at least 60 yards a game. He's a solid player, and I expect Ball to be a threat, especially against a defense who has not played their best football. He's going to be on Dustin Jordan all day, and hopefully Jordan can keep Ball at bay. That's going to be a key component, I think, throughout this weekend's matchup. Now, we've talked about middle linebackers all year, and we're talking about another one, Adrell Taylor. Now, Taylor is pretty much the captain of this defense. Without him, I think they're really lacking. Now, they may not have Brunson this week. They may have him. Who knows? But Taylor is the biggest threat. He's got an interception that was taken back for a touchdown. He's got a forced fumble and even 3 pass deflections. So this man can be a weapon against the pass. And Tanner Patrick is going to have to keep an eye on that. Now let's talk about the man who could or may not be there. Marcus Brunson, the senior outside linebacker. This man, when he's healthy, is a sack machine. He's already got a pick on the year, which isn't out of the ordinary. We saw Tanner Patrick throw an interception to Brunson last year. But he is a huge pass rusher when given the opportunity for this team. So if he's not there, their pass rush is not going to be as deadly, and that will be a big saving grace for Sanford. Now, when you talk about the defensive backfield for Ohio, you got to talk about Maxwell Howe. He has been a solid player for them this year. 3 interceptions, 1 taken back for a touchdown. If you're noticing a trend here, it seems like this defense is very good at, when they have the ball, taking it all the way home. So that is going to be a key concept to watch, as Sanford has got to make sure they play smart and they can't allow Ohio's defense to beat their offense. That's all the time we've got for this week on the Howler. Thank you folks for listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I've been Jonathan West, and we will see you this weekend as the Coyotes face the Bobcats in a huge Eastern Conference MAC matchup. Hello, Sanford. You are listening to Sanford Sports Radio. I am Jonathan West, and we are here in Ohio at Peden Stadium. I apologize to all the Ohio fans out there that may be listening to the broadcast. But we are here, and it's time for more MAC conference play, and I talked about it plenty in the Howler. If Sanford wins this ball game, I don't see a way that Sanford loses the eastern side of the MAC, which means we'll be pretty much talking about who Sanford might see in the MAC Conference Championship game. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. Sanford may be ranked number 22 in the nation. They may have a great opportunity in front of them to pretty much seal the deal on a possible MAC Championship appearance. But a key component here is that they have to win this ball game. This Sanford team, you can't say anything is locked in key yet. They have to show. We thought UConn would be a simple matchup early in the year. That didn't turn out that way. This Sanford team's going to have to fight for it, and with the way the defense is played, they've got to play their best football against a tough quarterback in Quentin Maxwell today, as they are setting everything up to get us ready to get underway here in Ohio, as it's bound to be a fun one, as we are off here. Patrick Jackson to return this one for Sanford. He's got some blocks in front of him, and he's got room up past the 40 as he stumbles for a 38-yard return. as a big start on a nice return by Pat Jackson. If he can kept his footing, that would have been huge. As they begin on the ground to Sanford, a 1-yard run for Claude Fleming. It's going to be a lot, I think, leaning on that ground game as Patrick dropping back from the play action. He'll just throw that one away. It might have been intended for his fullback Bradford, but I'm not entirely sure there. 3rd and 9 as there's a connection. Tanner Patrick to Deron Costello, the senior tight end. But he's been the favorite target since Williams has been out. This is the last game Sanford will have without Josh Williams from that suspension. As 1st and 10, the handoff goes to Claude Fleming, and Fleming can't find much room here. Defenses have started to really steal down their run block or their run stopping, trying to get to Fleming a lot more. As Costello here on the check down, and he'll get more than expected. He is able to get away from one defender early with a nice back juke. Newman, the man in motion here on 1st down for Sanford, and they'll go back to the ground. Tyrone Jennings with a 4-yard gain. As Sanford already in the red zone here, and they're ready to put some points on the board. Handoff goes to Fleming, and he's got running room. A nice block by Antoine Bradford, and that's going to be a 6-yard gain. So far, the best gain of the day for Claude Fleming. High formation here for Sanford as Patrick drops back. Quick strike to Patrick Jackson, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Sanford. 14-yard strike from Patrick to Patrick. And I'll say this much, folks. If you had told me Patrick Jackson would have the first touchdown of the day, I would have said, I don't believe that's going to be a thing. But he comes in, a great drawn-up slant pattern, and it works out. As we've got an update to take you folks to Central Michigan as Toledo is up early in that matchup, 7-0. The game is just underway, though, so plenty of time left. Kansas State, the number 12 team in the nation, did get a victory, though, over Texas Tech. We can tell you that. So Kansas State will at least keep their 12th spot for one more week. 1st and 10 here for Ohio, their first offensive drive of the day. And Weber takes the handoff, and he'll only gain 3 yards on that one. As the no-huddle begins here for Ohio. They love their no-huddle offense. Maxwell looks to throw, and he'll connect with a wide-open Kevon Harris. 21 yards as he was wide open from that blitz. 1st and 10 now as the no-huddle continues. The defense looking to get some pressure maybe this time as Weber, though, on the handoff finds room and gets a 5-yard run there. As Weber, though, looks to be shaken up a bit. 2nd and 5 as Weber was taken off the field. Maxwell on the run here. He's going to make up for Weber being down for at least a little bit. A 27-yard gain brought down by Pat Riley. As 1st and 10, the no-huddle continuing, and this is the last thing this defense wants, is they're going to get tired out quick from this. It's a gain of 4 for Jason Roberts. They continue the no-huddle, do the Bobcats on their offense. 2nd and 6, hand off to Roberts, and he's brought down, though. Dylan Trevor forces the loss of 1 there. 3rd and 6, it's a big 3rd down for Ohio. They need a big play as Maxwell looks to throw. He's got all the time in the world trying to scramble. He'll go down as that's a sack for Deshaun Hollis. And that is huge as Maxwell had nowhere to throw, nowhere to run, and Hollis able to bring him down. They'll have to settle for a field goal here. As the kicking team is out, the kick is up, and it is no good. As a chip shot is missed by the Bobcats, that's going to keep it 7-0. 1st and 10 here now for Sanford off play action. The check down goes to Antoine Bradford as he's going to make something out of what really wasn't going to be much, a 7-yard gain there. 2nd and 3 as the power option here from Sanford, but Patrick not able to go far, not able to get the pitch off in time. Brian Arp, the man who brought him down. 3rd and 6 after the loss of 3. Patrick looks to throw. He'll connect with Patrick Jackson again, but he doesn't gain enough. 4th and 2 as they have to boot it away. It's 1st down once again for Ohio as they pitch it off to Randy Weber, who's back in the game. That's a 14-yard run for Weber. And this defense now, they're going to have to be ready. As look at this, a run by the center, Adam Notestein, able to take that ball 10 yards. I've never seen that play before. But nonetheless, it worked for Ohio as a 1-yard run now from Randy Weber. I'm still taken aback from that center run as the no-huddle continues. Maxwell with the screen to Elijah Ball. That'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll bring up, though, 3rd and 7. As the no-huddle continues for Ohio. Maxwell getting the play from the sideline. He'll take the snap. They'll go to the screen game here for Weber, but fighting him is Otis Griffin. What a play by the middle linebacker. Stops him about half a yard short, but the offense still out there. 4th and 1 in what is probably the last play of the first quarter here. It's an option for Maxwell, and he's got the 1st down and more into the red zone. Go the Bobcats. A 6-yard run for Maxwell as that will take us to the end of the first quarter. It's 7-0 Sanford on top early on Ohio. You're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Sanford Sports Radio. It's 7-0 Sanford on top as Randy Weber will take the handoff to begin this second quarter of play. It's a 2-yard run. That'll bring up 2nd and 8 now for the Bobcats. As they were getting in place from the no-huddle, and it's a jump. I believe that was the center, Notestein, that he had the big run early, and he jumps there, I believe. 2nd and 13 now for Ohio as the man in motion is the tight end, Maxwell. Going to be throwing, and he connects with the wrong colored jersey. That's Lewis McMahon. Interception, Sanford. As McMahon gets his first pick of the year, and that is a big one as he was playing Elijah Ball perfectly. 1st and 10 now for Sanford as they go to the draw here for Claude Fleming. A gain of 7. As he's looking to have a big day today, trying to get back into that big running attack they had early in the season. It's another run here for another gain of 7. 1st and 10 under center is Patrick. He'll go play action now. Rolling out. And it looks like he's just going to keep it. My God, what a shot. It'll be a gain of 3 as Patrick on 2nd and 7 goes to the screen for Tyrone Jennings. This one will also be a gain of 3 yards. It'll make it a manageable 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 in the pistol. They're going to go option, but they were ready. Ohio's defense on top of it. Tayshawn Trotter with the tackle. That's a loss of 4, and they got a punt. Sanford now back on the defensive side of things as Quentin Maxwell gets to go back to work as a 9-yard reception there for Elijah Ball. Solid coverage, but he was able to come back up for that football as it looks like here on 2nd down someone jumped again. And indeed they did. It's going to be a loss of 5 yards here as it will make it 2nd and 6. Pistol formation for Ohio, and look at, I believe that's, yes, Dylan Trevor. I was about to say Otis Griffin, but Dylan Trevor with a great play, timing the snap perfectly and coming right in to take out Randy Weber. 3rd and 11 as Maxwell looks to throw. He connects with Kayvon Harris again. That's going to be an 18-yard gain and enough for the first down. Big gain there for Ohio. Now keep this drive alive. As Maxwell on the option. He's not going far as Griffin able to slow him down. Brought down by Sam Moore for the loss of 2. A good group effort there on defense to bring down Maxwell this time around. 2nd and 12 as this quarter is just flying by. About 3.5 left to go in the half. Weber on the screen. Sam Moore tries to bring him down. Can't do so. It's an 18-yard gain and another first down for the Bobcats. Exactly 3.5 minutes remain as Weber takes the handoff. And he'll fight forward for an 8-yard gain. Powering over one Sanford defender as this no huddle continues. Play coming in from the sideline for Ohio. Maxwell out of the pistol. He'll go with the option. And that's going to be enough for the first, a gain of 3. Sanford in trouble here as this Ohio Bobcats offense is driving. Man in motion is Elijah Ball. As Maxwell hands off to Weber, but Weber is stuffed. Scott Boyd, I think one of the bright spots this season. One of the surprising players as well. Able to get the loss of 2 there on that tackle. 2nd and 12 as Maxwell looks to throw. And look at that, Nate Ginn on the rotation checking in. And he slows down Maxwell enough for Daniel Clemens to come down from his safety spot and bring down Maxwell. Good play there once again. Team effort there from Sanford. 3rd and 15 with just about 2 minutes to go in the half. Maxwell just gets that one out of his hands and he'll fall incomplete. That pressure got there. They'll have to settle. As the setup is good, the kick is up and good for the Bobcats. It's 7-3 as we'll take you to a studio update here. Ohio State is losing currently to Maryland. 12 seconds left before half. 17-14. The Terps winless on the year. They might get their first win over number 3 in the nation. Welcome back to the ball game, folks, as it's the full house formation for Sanford. They'll go to Tyrone Jennings, and he's broken plays out of that before. A gain of 6 on this carry. About a minute and a half left to go. Patrick out of the pistol looks to throw, and he'll connect with Rob Thomas. That's a 23-yard gain, and they're in Bobcat territory now. As the first catch of the day for Rob Thomas. A solid start to the day for Tanner Patrick. 1st and 10 with a minute 22 left. The handoff goes to Fleming, and he'll see an 8-yard run in front of him. That's going to be another solid gain. He's at a solid start. 5 yards per carry to start off. As Patrick to throw here on 2nd and 2. Over the middle. And I don't think Patrick saw that defender as that was nearly intercepted. 3rd and 2 as Patrick looks to throw again. Wide open is Pat Jackson. And he's got the speed to go all the way. 37-yard touchdown reception. You want to talk about a breakout day? It is the showcase for Patrick Jackson and his speed. And good play by Tanner Patrick to stay in there and take that shot. So he's able to find Jackson, and that is a huge touchdown. It's a 2-score game with 30 seconds left. 1st and 10 here for Ohio. They got 30 seconds to put something together here. As Weber gets the check down, it's going to be a 2-yard gain. But less than 30 seconds now, and they need to make something happen if they want to score before half. Maxwell taking off out of that empty set, and he'll go down. That's the 8th sack of the year for Big Joe Irvin. He's now tied his high for his career. Maxwell connects with Shaw here on 3rd and 9. That'll be a gain of 12, enough for the first, and a timeout taken by Ohio. As Maxwell to throw again on first down. Elijah Ball, and that'll be a 15-yard gain. Enough for the first as they continue to go quick here. Maxwell to throw and nearly taken away, but wait a minute. Ball with the catch on the deflection. It's Maxwell throwing again. He connects with Elijah Ball, and Ball eludes a defender. It's a 31-yard touchdown strike. That was all Elijah Ball. As we head into halftime, 14-10. It was the Elijah Ball show there at the end of the half. We'll be back with your second half after this, folks. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sanford Sports Radio. As I'm tongue-tied here, it is the start of the second half as Quentin Maxwell takes off for a 5-yard gain. 14-10, Sanford on top of the Bobcats right now, but that end of the half, all Elijah Ball for Ohio, and they might want to continue that as Maxwell takes off on the option, though, and that's going to be a first down and more. As a big run once again for Maxwell. He's already got 48 yards on the day on the ground. First and 10. As the no huddle continues here, Maxwell once again with the option offense, and he's got room. Another first down run. It's a gain of 11 as they continue to utilize Maxwell's speed. The no huddle continues here, and it looks like another jump because of this up-tempo offense. So that will set Ohio at 1st and 15. We'll see exactly how well they can do here now as Roberts gets the handoff here on first down. It is a gain of 6. That'll bring them to 2nd and 9. The no huddle continues as Maxwell gets the play. He'll take the snap out of the pistol. Looking to run. He'll throw quickly to Roberts. That was a poor play entirely by Ohio. A loss of 4 there as Gabriel Connor makes the tackle. That was just a confusing play. I'm not exactly sure what happened. They'll give credit to Gabriel Connor for bringing down Roberts. 3rd and 13 as the rotation is coming in here for Sanford. Maxwell, though, connects once again with Kevon Harris. And Kevon Harris has been arguably the best target to look for big plays today. 1st and 10. Maxwell once again with the option run, and it's going to be another good gain. Gain of 7, bringing up a manageable 2nd and 3. Still in the shotgun. They'll go option again, and Maxwell's got room. Good blocking on the outside to the 10. Down at around the 4-yard line. 22-yard run. This is just getting a little too much with this Quentin Maxwell running, if you ask me. And the defense starting to tire out from this no-huddle offense. As Maxwell to run again, the pitch goes out to Randy Weber. As luckily Chaz Tanner was all over Maxwell on that one. It was a short gain by Weber, a 2nd and goal here. Maxwell looks to go to the option again. Another pitch to Weber, and he's brought down from Pat Riley. It was the exact same play call. It's a 4-yard gain down at the 1. 3rd and goal. They go option, and Maxwell fights his way in against Pat Riley. Ohio takes their first lead of the ball game. We've got another update for you, folks. It's a close one in Central Michigan. 21-19 as the third quarter is really just getting underway, as this ball game could go either way right now. Now back to our close ball game as Sanford back on offense. 14-17 the score, Ohio on top, as a nice run there from Tanner Patrick off the play action. He decides to take off for a gain of 5. 2nd and 5 now. Is Patrick going to go back to the ground for Fleming? And he got just back to the line. Not a lot of running room. Dorsa all over that. 3rd and 5 is Patrick off play action here. He needs a big play, and he's just going to take off. Good block by Lorenzo Newman, and that'll be a 15-yard gain. Big first down for Patrick, as it's a battle of running quarterbacks right now, it seems. 1st and 10, Thomas the man in motion, and they'll go with that jet sweep, but it doesn't work out. A loss of 1, as Ohio was all over that. 2nd and 11. Out of the I form, they go to Fleming, and Fleming finds room. It's a gain of 7 on that one, maybe about 7.5, 8 yards. But the running game has been working, and here on 3rd and 8, they're going to go for it as well. The option, and Patrick just sticks the ball out enough to get that first down. Big play there from Tanner Patrick, as this drive is still alive. As this quarter has been going quickly, Antoine Bradford loses the football, though, on his carry, and that's picked up by Tayshawn Trotter. And that is enormous right there, folks. Ohio now has the ball back with the lead, and there's only 2:20 left in the 3rd quarter of play. This quarter is going by extremely quick, and with the way Sanford runs the football, this may be the worst situation to happen. 1st and 10 for Ohio out of the shotgun. Handoff goes to Roberts. And that's going to be a gain of 2 brought down by Dylan Trevor. 2nd and 8 now in the pistol as the no huddles continued. Roberts gets the handoff. He's brought down quickly. Keon Cutler. As it'll be 3rd and 8 now as he was brought down at the line. The no huddle does continue. Maxwell takes the snap. He's looking to throw, and it bounces off the helmet of Dylan Trevor. That'll fall incomplete. Great defensive play there. Allows for Sanford to get the football back, but a big loss here on 1st and 10. It'll be a loss of 3. Austin Clark all over Claude Fleming. 2nd and 13. Patrick going play action here, and he's going to take off early. He wanted some blocks in front of him. He kind of outran his blockers, but he does gain 10 on that. Or I'm sorry, 12. That is a 3rd and 1 now. As the handoff goes to Tyrone Jennings, and he is stuffed. A loss of about 2, maybe 2.5. And that is the man they call Chuck here in Ohio, as that will take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. It's 17-14, Ohio on top. It could go either way here, folks. The final quarter of play coming up in just a bit. You're listening to Sanford Sports Radio. Welcome back, everyone, to the Sanford Sports Radio. 17-14 here to begin the final quarter of play. Ohio with the football as Quentin Maxwell tries to take off. Only going to find 1 yard there. 2nd and 9 as no huddle begins again here for Ohio. It has worn down this Sanford defense, and it's worked out for Ohio as a 10-yard run there for Jason Roberts, as that's going to be another big gain. 1st and 10. The no huddle continuing, and they've got a man in a spy now, has Sanford for the past couple plays. A loss of 1 there for Roberts. Kellen Herron on that tackle. 2nd and 11. Handoff goes to Roberts again, and he gets lit up. My God, Keon Cutler. Big hit from Cutler there. It's 3rd and 11 now, and it looks like Ohio jumping again. And the center has been behind nearly all of these false starts. As that will bring up 3rd and 16, an empty set for Ohio. Maxwell looks to throw. And that one's deflected, nearly intercepted, and luckily not caught this time by an Ohio receiver. 1st and 10 now for Sanford. They have an opportunity. Fleming going downfield, can't connect with Tremaine Dingle, his intended target, as that one's deflected. 2nd and 10 now as the handoff goes to Claude Fleming off the offset eye. And that's going to be a gain of 8. Brings up a manageable 3rd and 2 now. Pistol formation, handoff goes to Fleming, and that'll be a first down and more. Sanford's drive continues as this team continues to work this run game. 1st and 10, still in the pistol. It'll be play action. Patrick rolling out. Wants to throw as he just throws that one away for the most part. Patrick Jackson could not catch it. He was out of bounds. As that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Patrick looks to throw again. He connects with Dingle, but he can't hold on. A drop from Tremaine Dingle. That'll bring up 3rd and 10. Out of the shotgun, Patrick to throw. Connects with Patrick Jackson. The Patrick to Patrick connection has been working. As it's a big first down and they remain in the shotgun. Tyrone Jennings with no gain there. He'll get back to the line luckily though. So that will bring up 2nd and 10. Under center is Tanner Patrick and he'll just give it to Fleming. Fleming found a small hole and breaks 7 out of it. So another manageable 3rd down situation. Into the pistol. 3rd and 3. They go for the option. Patrick's got room to the 10, down and around the 6-yard line. And oh no, Tanner Patrick is down, folks. As now Anderson is checked in. Devin Anderson hands off, Dante Anderson hands off to Claude Fleming here on 1st down. It's 2nd and goal after the short gain. Anderson going for play action, and he can't connect with his intended target. And I don't know what Dante was looking for there. I want to believe he was looking for Dingle. Couldn't connect with him as he goes for a quick slant here, and I think the pressure got to him a little too quick. As he went for the shorter man, could have waited for Rob Thomas to get open, as that one is good. Jackson Stone ties it up with a field goal. 17 all as Maxwell taken off here for Ohio, as that will be a gain of 8. The Bobcats looking to do some damage to this clock as well as get downfield. As just about 2.5 really remains. We're about 10 seconds off of that. As 2nd and 2, the pistol option, and Maxwell continues to be the biggest weapon on the field. A 9-yard gain and enough for the first. Already over 100 yards for Maxwell. He's got 107 on the day as they get the play from the sideline, and they'll go option for the 3rd straight time, and look at the room for Maxwell. Down all the way to the 36-yard line. 26-yard run. And things do not look good for the Sanford defense. 1st and 10. Looking to the sideline once again is Maxwell. And he tried to fool him. This time it didn't work. Nate Ginn all over it. And that is going to be a big loss of 5. As 2nd and 15 now, and this was a chance for the rotation to happen. You got guys who don't normally see playing time in the ball game right now. As Holmes downfield, and a huge connection with Albert Holmes for a 38-yard connection. 1st and goal here for Ohio as the no huddle continues, and Maxwell running down to the 1. Another gain here for Ohio as Sanford takes their first time out. 2nd and goal. Maxwell hands off. It's an option, and he's got room. Touchdown, Ohio, and the Bobcats just took their lead back. It was tough to watch that drive, folks, but now Sanford's got to answer here, as that one's deflected by Adrell Taylor. Intended target was Deron Costello. Sanford's got to find an answer here. They got to find something as Patrick just gets rid of that one before he goes down. That'll fall incomplete. 3rd and 10. A huge play here with 1.5 minutes remaining. Patrick over the middle to Fleming, and that'll be a first down. Claude Fleming with the passing game now helping. As Tanner Patrick to throw again here, and that'll be Rob Thomas. He's out of bounds after a 15-yard gain. They're finding targets to get the ball to and to get some yardage. That's what they've needed to find all day long, and they're finally getting an opportunity here late in the fourth. 1st and 10 out of the shotgun. They're setting up a Fleming screen, and he's got room to run. That'll be close to, if not a first down, and they're going to give it to him. Still in the shotgun is Sanford, 1st and 10. Patrick to throw downfield. Costello, first down. He's inside the 10 after the 23-yard reception. Well, they're just a couple of yards away from pay dirt, folks. We're just about maybe 8 yards away from tying this ball game up. 1st and goal. Option for Patrick. He can't go far, though. Sanford does have 2 timeouts left. They just took one remaining with 30 seconds. 2nd and goal. Patrick rolling out. He's going to take off, and he's down to the 1-yard line. A 10-yard gain for Patrick. Sanford takes their last time out. 3rd and goal here. Pitch goes to Fleming. From the 1, it's a touchdown. I assume they're just going to tie this ball game up now and take this to overtime. As a huge play, and wait a minute, the offense is still out in the field. They're going to pitch it to Fleming. They're taking the chance, and it works out. 2-point conversion is good. Claude Fleming scores. 13 seconds. 25-24. Maxwell looks to throw. He gets away from Boyd, but brought down after a 2-yard gain. 8 seconds remain here, folks. 8 seconds. 2nd and 8 for Ohio in the shotgun. Maxwell takes the snap. He needs a big play. He checks it down to Roberts. Roberts gets away from Griffin. He won't do it. Time has expired, and the Sanford Coyotes complete the 4th quarter comeback. What an ending to this game. It was a drive that Tanner Patrick was able to put together there at the end. That game-winning drive. It was mainly through the air until they got to the goal line. And a big heads-up play by Tanner Patrick to hit Claude Fleming on that 3rd down. And Fleming, of course, taking it for 19. But what a 4th quarter. Sanford fights it out, taking the risk there at the end to go for 2. They did not want to settle, apparently. 25-24, Sanford College defeats the University of Ohio. What a game. Thank you, folks, for listening here on Sanford Sports Radio. I've been Jonathan West, and we will see you folks next week for a game that Sanford has to once again answer for last year's mistakes against Ball State. We will see you folks next week.